As a child, Michael's father forced him to study music. Michael Jackson's father, Michael Joseph Jackson, was a boxer. He used to pressurize Michael to play various instruments while growing up. There were times when he would whip his children if they played the wrong note. The upbringing of the king of pop was stressful as his father wanted them to succeed anyhow in life. You may be an avid lover of Michael Jackson, but even you may not be fully aware of just how awesome he really is. For instance, did you know that Michael Jackson wanted to buy Marvel to play Spider-Man? Or Jackson would wear a black armband to remind people of all the children suffering in the world? Today I will tell you the most interesting facts and secrets of Michael Jackson. Subscribe to the channel, put a bell on all notifications, let's go. Michael Jackson's appearance has changed throughout his career and many condemned Michael for his plastic surgery, but Michael himself in all his interviews says that he only had nose surgery to ease his breathing after an injury and in order to sing better. Michael had a lot of injuries. For example, in 1979, while dancing, Michael Jackson performed a trick and broke his nose. Because of this incident, Jackson had breathing problems. Then for the first time in his life, Michael Jackson did a rhinoplasty of the nose. Another unpleasant incident occurred in 1984. Michael took part in an advertisement for Pepsi. His hair caught fire due to a fireworks mishap. The company was slapped with a civil suit in court for the damage and paid a huge fine. Jackson terminated his contract with Pepsi-Cola quickly after the incident. He underwent rhinoplasty surgery and later donated $1.5 million to the medical center in California that treated his burns. Jackson's skin complexion has been the subject of debate as to why a black man turned his skin into white. Jackson's skin began to become covered with white spots and soon his skin completely changed color to white. Michael had a rare disease, vitiligo. People believing he had bleached his skin. Many believed that he hated his black skin and wanted to look white. His post-mortem after his death in 2009 determined that he was affected by vitiligo. Vitiligo is a chronic autoimmune disorder that causes patches of skin to lose pigment or color. This happens when melanocytes, skin cells that make pigment, are attacked and destroyed, causing the skin to turn a milky white color. Michael Jackson was very concerned about his appearance. He was an icon of that time and he needed to look fresh and young. Because of this, there were speculations that Jackson slept in an oxygen tank for long life. Why did he do it? In order to live over 100 years. It is said that Jackson said something similar in one interview. He used the boracamera in a hospital where he was treated for burns and was ready to purchase such a device for use at home, but this is just a myth. The truth sounds like this. The singer donated a large amount of money to create a children's burn center. At the opening of this center, Jackson was asked to enter the oxygen barracks for patients with extensive body burns, and he did not refuse. These shots were the ones that created the myth that the king of pop slept in a pressure chamber to maintain his appearance. But the opening of the children's center was the only time Jackson climbed into such an oxygen tank. Few people know, but Michael Jackson lived in a theme park. The pop star lived life king size. But there is one aspect of his ranch that's lesser known. He had turned half of his ranch into an amusement park. It consisted of a zoo, roller coasters, railroads, bumper cars, a Ferris wheel, and a carousel. It was named Neverland, after the fictional place where Peter Pan lived. I want to give children childhood, because childhood is the best time in the life of every person. Michael in his own park begins to play with children and they begin to accuse him of seducing children. Michael does not respond to the yellow press and there was no evidence either. But in 2002, after another accusation, Michael Jackson offended by the whole world. He did not want anything, he could not sleep, not eat, he did not understand. Why? I write songs, I give concerts, I give happiness to children, and they accuse me of what I would never do.
At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life. One that no person should ever have to suffer. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it.
Michael Jackson has a bunch of different awards. One particularly shows his generous commitment to charitable causes. In 2000, Guinness World Records honored Michael for supporting 39 charities, a record for the most supported by a pop star, with hundreds of millions of dollars estimated to have been raised by his efforts. Once in 1994, in one of the hospitals in Budapest, Michael Jackson saw Bell Forkas, a little boy who was born with a liver defect, and because of this his parents abandoned him. He urgently needed a transplant and Michael Jackson paid for it. And after the transplant, Jackson paid the boy for the next 10 years of treatment. As a result, the boy recovered, he was adopted, and he grew up healthy and happy. Here's another story for you. The story of a little boy who, by mistake of doctors, was infected with AIDS during a blood transfusion. In 1997, before his performance in Milan, Michael Jackson invited the boy and his mother to the dressing room, talked to him and found out how his health was, but the most touching moment was during the concert, when during one song Michael Jackson held the boy in his arms, in front of thousands of spectators. Later, the mother of the child wrote a letter to Michael. "I will never forget what you did for my son. After our meeting the doctors talked about a miracle, and for several months it was as if he had never been ill with anything. My child is no longer with us. Well, I know he's always watching you from over there. Thank you, Michael." And there are hundreds of such stories. During his life, Michael Jackson donated $300 million to charity. The singer created his own charitable foundation, and also helped others. During his concerts, Michael Jackson visited orphanages around the world. Most of these cases, Michael Jackson hid from the public, unwilling to attract too much attention to yourself, because the one who helps from the bottom of his heart does not want this to be given any publicity. Michael Jackson, who helped thousands of kids around the world, was labeled a pedophile. In 2003, Michael gave a short interview. "I was shocked how evil people are.
Like I said before, and I'll say it a million times, I'm not afraid to say it. If there were no children on this earth, if somebody announced all kids are dead, I would jump off the balcony immediately. I'm done."
What happened when they arrested you? What did they do to you?
They were supposed to go in and just check fingerprints and do the whole thing that they do when they take somebody in. They manhandled me very roughly. My shoulder is dislocated, literally. It's hurting me very badly. I'm in pain all the time. See this arm? This is as far as I can reach it. Same with this side over here.
Because of what happened at the police station?
Yeah, at the police station. And what they did to, if you saw what they did to my arms, it was very bad what they did.
How did they do it? I mean, what did they do?
With the handcuffs, the way they tied them too tight behind my back.
Behind your back?
Yeah, and they put it in a certain position, knowing that it's going to hurt and affect my back. Now I can't move. It keeps me from sleeping at night. One time I asked to use the restroom, and they said, sure, it's right around the corner there. Once I went in the restroom, they locked me in there for like 45 minutes. There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad. Then one of the policemen came by the window and he made a sarcastic remark. He said, does it smell good enough for you in there? How do you like the smell? Is it good? And I just simply said, it's all right, it's okay. So I just sat there and waited.
For 45 minutes?
Yeah, for 45 minutes, about 45 minutes.
Michael Jackson's obsession over his appearance is mainly due to his abusive father, who would always troll his physical appearance and even call him Fat Nose. This led to Jackson having 4 rhinoplasties and excessively fussing about his face, skin, and body for the rest of his adult life. But the operation on the nose was unsuccessful, so people thought that Michael was specially doing plastic surgeries one by one. Supposedly he had nowhere to put money, but in fact, his nose was in a terrible state. They even said that Michael Jackson's nose was no longer to correct. Few people know what is really Michael Jackson died from overdosing on a combination of sedatives and prescribed medication. Jackson's in-home doctor, Conrad Murray, was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. The doctor tried to save Michael, but he didn't succeed. The doctor ran into the room, began to massage the heart, but it was too late. Michael Jackson died.